Two brothers were born 11 months apart. They grew up in the same neighborhood, ate at the same dinner table, shared the same bedroom until high school, listened to the same advice from the same parents. They attended the same public schools, graduated from the same state university, entered the same industry within a year of each other. By 40, their lives looked almost identical. Both earned roughly $150,000 per year. Both were married. Both had two children. Both owned homes in stable middle-class neighborhoods. Both had retirement accounts sitting near $220,000. If you lined up their balance sheets side by side, you would struggle to find meaningful differences. At 65, one brother retired with $2.4 million invested, a paid-off house, and complete financial independence. He spends winters somewhere warm. He pays cash for cars. He helps fund his grandchildren's education without hesitation. Market downturns are inconveniences, not threats. The other brother reached 65 with $720,000 invested, an outstanding mortgage balance, and a carefully structured withdrawal plan that leaves little margin for error. He delays retirement by 3 years. He checks prices at restaurants. He hopes medical costs don't spike unexpectedly. Identical upbringing, identical education, nearly identical earning power, radically different outcomes. The divergence did not occur in their 20s, when both were too busy building careers and paying off student loans to accumulate meaningful wealth. It did not occur in their 30s, when daycare bills, starter homes, and career instability limited saving capacity. The divergence happened almost entirely in their 40s. Your 40s decide whether you retire rich or broke. Not because of luck, not because of intelligence, not because of stock-picking skill, because your 40s sit at the most powerful financial intersection of your entire life. And once that intersection passes, you cannot return to it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this decade carries such disproportionate weight, the mathematics behind the leverage, the specific decisions that create seven-figure differences, and what you can do right now to make sure your future self benefits instead of suffers. Let's begin with the three forces that make your 40s uniquely decisive. Force number 1, peak earning power. For most professionals, income climbs steadily through the 30s and reaches its strongest sustained levels somewhere between 42 and 55. Promotions are larger, titles carry more responsibility, bonuses increase, expertise commands premium compensation. You may not feel wealthy, but in raw dollars, you are likely earning more in your mid-40s than at any previous point. A 45-year-old earning $160,000 has dramatically more capacity to build wealth than that same person did at 30 earning $80,000. At 30, saving 15% meant $12,000 per year. At 45, saving 20% means $32,000 per year. Same discipline, nearly triple the annual capital. Your 40s provide the most financial fuel you will ever control. The second force, remaining compounding time. At 40, you still have 20 to 25 years until traditional retirement. That window is long enough for invested money to double, possibly double again, depending on returns. At an 8% annual return, money doubles roughly every 9 years. Invest $1 at 41, it becomes $2 near 50, $4 near 59, and continues growing until retirement. Invest $1 at 55. It may only double once before 65. The multiplier shrinks rapidly as time passes. Your 40s represent the final decade where compounding still has serious leverage. The third force, expense stabilization. By your 40s, many early career costs have leveled out. Daycare may be ending. Furniture is already purchased. Income is predictable. Student loans may be gone. You are no longer building from scratch. Margin begins to appear. That margin can be invested, or it can be absorbed by lifestyle expansion. When peak income, remaining time, and expense stabilization align, you have a decade of unusual financial leverage. If you capture it, you build durable wealth. If you miss it, the math becomes increasingly unforgiving. Let's walk through the numbers. Assume you reach 40 with $220,000 invested. You earn $150,000 per year. You can reasonably save 20% or $30,000 annually. If you invest $30,000 per year from 40 to 65 at 8%, you accumulate roughly $2.3 to $2.6 million by retirement. Now imagine you save only $10,000 per year during your 40s because expenses expand. At 50, you realize retirement is approaching and increase savings to $40,000 per year. Even with that aggressive catch-up, you may finish with roughly $1.5 million. That's nearly a $1 million difference created largely during 1 decade. Time cannot be replaced with urgency. Lost compounding cannot be recovered with intensity. Now, consider a third path. You reach 40 with the same $220,000. Instead of increasing savings, you reduce them to 5% of income to fund upgrades. Your 40s average just $7,500 in annual retirement contributions. At 50, you panic and raise savings to 25%. Despite heroic effort in your 50s, you may retire with roughly $1.1 million. Your 40s comfort cost you over $1 million in retirement wealth. Let's examine the decisions that create these outcomes. Housing is the largest lever. At 42, you own a $500,000 home with comfortable payments. You qualify for a $900,000 property in a more prestigious area. The upgrade increases your monthly cost by $2,500 when including taxes, insurance, maintenance, and utilities. That's $30,000 per year redirected from investments to housing. Invested from 42 to 65 at 8%, that $30,000 annual difference could exceed $1.5 million. The upgrade feels like square footage. The cost is long-term freedom. Vehicles follow closely behind. Two $40,000 vehicles replaced every 8 years create a vastly different financial trajectory than two $75,000 vehicles replaced every 6 years. Between depreciation, financing, insurance, and opportunity cost, the difference over 20 years can exceed $400,000 to $600,000 in retirement wealth. Vehicles in your 40s often become symbols of success. But retirement is funded by restraint, not symbolism. Children's education becomes the next major pressure point. College tuition peaks during your 40s. Some parents take six-figure loans. Some stop retirement contributions entirely. Some withdraw early from investment accounts. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Your child has 4 decades to build wealth. You have 2. They can repay loans. You cannot repay lost compounding at 62. Families who retire financially secure often make difficult choices. State universities, scholarships, clear contribution limits. Retirement funded first, not out of indifference, out of mathematical awareness. Career risk is another inflection point. Your 40s are your final strong window for income acceleration. At 43, switching companies for a $35,000 raise can transform your savings rate. That additional $35,000, invested consistently for 20 years, can generate nearly $1 million in retirement wealth when compounded. At 53, similar transitions become harder. Energy shifts, hiring bias appears, risk tolerance declines. The income decisions in your 40s echo for decades. Lifestyle inflation weaves through all of this. As income rises, spending rises unless deliberately constrained. Vacations upgrade, renovations expand. Dining becomes frequent, experiences become premium. The psychological trap is powerful. You feel you have earned comfort, and you have. But comfort can be front-loaded in your 40s or back-loaded in your 60s and 70s. It cannot be maximized in both periods without extraordinary income. Research consistently shows that lifestyle upgrades create temporary spikes in satisfaction that fade within 2 years. The new house becomes normal. The new car becomes routine. The upgraded lifestyle becomes baseline. But the increased fixed expenses remain. Let me illustrate with 2 couples. Nathan and Claire entered their 40s earning $170,000, combined with $250,000 invested. Ethan and Rachel looked similar: $165,000 income, $240,000 invested. Nathan and Claire upgraded to a $1 million home, reduced retirement savings to 8%, leased luxury vehicles, paused contributions during college years. At 50, they had roughly $420,000 invested. Ethan and Rachel stayed in their existing home, raised savings to 25%, purchased reliable used vehicles, maintained retirement funding during college years. At 50, they had $950,000 invested. Same decade, same market conditions, same income range, different allocation. By 65, Nathan and Claire reached about $1.2 million. Ethan and Rachel surpassed $2.8 million. The gap was not created by extraordinary returns. It was created by ordinary discipline applied during one critical decade. During their 40s, Nathan and Claire did not feel reckless. They felt successful. Ethan and Rachel sometimes felt modest compared to peers, but at 70, the emotional experience reversed. Nathan and Claire monitor spending. Ethan and Rachel choose freely. The discomfort of restraint lasted 10 years. The reward lasts 30 or more. Now consider the psychological layer. Your 40s are uniquely dangerous because they feel like the reward phase. You survived early career uncertainty. You endured financial stress. You delayed gratification. The internal voice asks, if not now, when? The answer most people never consider is this: the greatest reward is autonomy, not consumption. The upgraded kitchen excites you for a year. Financial independence calms you for decades. The luxury car signals success briefly. A debt-free retirement signals security permanently. Your brain overvalues present pleasure and undervalues future peace. In your 40s, that bias becomes extraordinarily expensive because you have both the income to indulge and limited time to recover. Picture yourself at 75. You wake naturally. You move slowly through a quiet morning. You do not check a clock because no employer demands it. In one version of your future, you review investment accounts calmly. Unexpected expenses do not disrupt your stability. You give generously. You sleep peacefully. In another version, you calculate carefully. You hesitate before spending. You worry about medical bills. You consider returning to work. Both versions of you pass through your 40s. One converted income into assets. The other converted income into lifestyle. Your 40s will pass regardless. The decade does not pause for indecision. The only question is what it will produce. If you are currently in your 40s, audit everything. What is your true savings rate? Is your housing aligned with long-term goals? Are your vehicles tools or trophies? Are you funding retirement before discretionary spending? Are you pursuing income growth while you still can? If you are approaching your 40s, define enough now. Automate savings so they never decrease. Resist comparison before it intensifies. Build identity around discipline, not display. If you are in your late 40s and behind, act decisively. Increase contributions immediately. Consider downsizing early. Delay retirement strategically. Eliminate high-interest debt aggressively. Every year still carries weight. Your 40s are not about deprivation. They are about conversion. Converting peak income into permanent capital. Converting opportunity into optionality. Converting discipline into decades of calm. The pleasure of indulgence lasts months. The security of preparation lasts a lifetime. Retiring rich is rarely about extraordinary genius. It is about ordinary decisions during an extraordinary decade. Your 40s decide whether you retire rich or broke. Not because the choices feel dramatic, but because the math is relentless. The decisions appear small, the consequences compound quietly. The results reveal themselves decades later. When you are 75, sitting quietly with your thoughts, you will not remember the exact trim package on your SUV. You will remember whether you feel safe. You will not remember the square footage. You will feel the weight or the absence of financial stress. That future is being shaped right now, not by luck, not by the market, not by your neighbor, but by what you choose to do between 40 and 50. Your 40s are not just another chapter, they are the hinge. And once the hinge swings, it does not swing back. What you do with that decade will determine everything that follows. If this video helped you see your 40s differently, if it challenged you, clarified something, or made you think about a decision you've been putting off, then do 3 simple things. Like this video so more people in their 40s see it before it's too late. Comment below with one decision you're committing to change: housing, savings rate, lifestyle, income. I read every comment. And subscribe if you want more clear, practical breakdowns on personal finance, investing, and building real wealth. Without hype, without fluff, just math and strategy. Your 40s decide everything. Let's make sure you get them right.